Hey guys, I'm Cameron and welcome back to my channel where we sip tea and also spill the tea as I talk about some of my favorite reads. So on today's video, I am going to be talking about spooky books that I want to read in the spooktacular and haunted season of October. So you guys, I'm going to be completely honest with you. Ever since October rolled around, I literally have been going through the most traumatic reading slump ever. Like, ever since we hit October 1st, I have not read a single book as of yet, and guys, it is basically like the book gods are haunting my every waking moment, because every time I try to pick up a book and try to read it, I somehow just get so distracted by social media or my friends or my family that I just do not continue reading the book. So I figure that if I talk to you guys about all the spooky books that I want to read this month of October, then that will hopefully get me out of this very traumatic time that I found myself in. So that is the tea of this video. Now, without further ado, let's get into this TBR. So the first book on my list is Pretty Stolen Dolls by Kier Dookie. So this book is actually the first out of 4 books in the series. Now, this is a thriller, spooky type of book. This follows a girl and her sister who, whenever they were younger, they went to a flea market and they met a doll maker, and this guy ends up kidnapping the 2 girls and keeping them captive for a insurmountable amount of time. Our main girl ends up escaping the doll maker, but for some reason or another, she has to leave her sister, her little sister, behind. And so now it has been a amount of years, and our girl is now grown up, and I believe she's a police detective. She's some type of cop. Maybe she's an FBI agent, I'm not sure. She ends up investigating a serial killer whose murders are very similar to that of the doll makers. So she believes that she has finally found the doll maker, and so she wants to try her hardest to try to find and capture the doll maker so that she can, first of all, get justice for what was done to her and her sister whenever she was younger. And she also, most importantly, wants to find out any information on her sister. She wants to find out if she's still alive and what's going on there. So, of course, there is also romance in this book, because if you have watched any videos on this channel, y'all know that romance is the most important ingredient to any story, at least in my opinion. It just adds that extra bit of spice that I'm always craving. So I believe that there is going to be another police detective that's going to be helping her solve these crimes and find the doll maker, and there is going to be some sparks going on. The relationship that they have is definitely not just going to be a professional business-like relationship. It's going to be very naughty as well. Maybe the handcuffs that they have are not just going to be used to capture the criminals, you know. They may be using them for other purposes. I'm not sure. That is just a thought of mine that is just a speculation of mine, you know, that I do not know if that's actually going to happen, but I do know that there is going to be romance between them. So what else can you want from a book? It is spooky, there is an awesome investigation, and there is romance. So yes, sign me up for that. I am ready to read that book. Maybe there's hope for my reading slump after all with Pretty Stolen Dolls. So that is that book. Let's now get on to my second book on my TBR list. So the second book on my TBR list is The Girl in 6E by A.R. Torre. Guys, this book sounds so exciting to me. So this is another thriller type of spooky book. So this is about a girl who is afraid to go out in the public, to go out in society. So she hides herself away in her apartment. She doesn't go out at all, and she does this because for some reason or another she believes that she is a danger to society. Now, it doesn't say that in the synopsis, but your girl did some investigating in the reviews on Goodreads, because honestly the synopsis to this book was very, very vague, and I honestly didn't really know what it was all going to be about. So, you know, I got out my magnifying glass and I snooped through all the reviews, and I found out that this girl she believes she's a danger to society. So I'm very interested as to why she thinks she's so dangerous. Like, that is just a web of secrets that I want to devour and untangle, and that is just all interesting all on its own. Now, in order for our girl to make bank, because, you know, she's not going out at all, so she does not have that many choices in life to try to make money. So what she does is she makes videos of herself. I think they might be live videos, but she makes live videos of herself, which is a pornographic type of content, and people pay her to watch those videos. So during one of her videos, she ends up talking, I think she's exchanging some type of conversation with this man or with this individual, and for some reason or another she starts to believe that she's talking to a serial killer, and this serial killer says a few different things that leads her to speculate who his next victim is going to be. So now our girl, after talking to this person who she believes is a serial killer, she knows that she has to do something about that, and she has to warn the person who is on the serial killer's list. So she ends up getting out of her apartment and trying to find this person who she believes is going to get murdered. So she ends up, of course, getting help along the way by a very sexy man, and there would definitely be some romance right there. So all in all, this book sounds like such a thrill ride. It sounds like so much fun, and I'm so excited to devour that book as well. The third book on my TBR list is The Devil's Medal by Karina Halley. So, first of all, I just have to say, Karina Halley is one of the best authors that I have ever read. She is literally just such a chameleon of her field. She dabbles in so many different types of writing genres. It's just so exciting, and I'm always on the edge of my seat trying to see what she's going to be writing next, because it's always such a mystery, because she just writes so many different types of genres, and she just has such an amazing style of writing. I love her, and out of all of the genres that she tries out, her main genre is romance, and no matter what she writes, romance is a huge part of every story, and you know, your girl's here for that. I love the type of romance that she writes, because she loves to get into every sexy sexy detail, and I'm here for it. So this book is a romantic horror book, and this is about a girl named Dawn Emerson. This is actually set in the 70s, which is really fun. I think that's a really cool era to get to be thrown into for a little while. So it's about a girl named Dawn Emerson, and she is a music journalist, and she ends up being able to go on tour with a rock band, which is very, very, very popular in this book. And so of course she's very excited about that. So as she is on tour with this band, of course there is a lot of sex and drugs and rock and roll, but there is also a very creepy and bloody thing that is also going on while they're on tour. So basically the synopsis is pretty vague, but what it says is that while they're on tour, they are on the road straight to hell. So obviously I feel like there's going to be some type of demonic activity going on. Like, my assumption, maybe they sold their soul to the devil to become famous, and I am talking about the band members. So maybe that happened. I'm not sure. I'm just speculating. But I mean, whenever you have rock and roll and demons, I just right away think of like selling your soul for fame. I don't know. That's just what comes to mind. But this book just sounds so interesting. It sounds so exciting. And I have read some of Karina Halley's other romantic horror books, and this woman knows how to give you the sexy thrills, and she also knows how to give you the bone-curdling chills. Like, whenever I read some of her horror books, I literally could not sleep with the lights off. Like, I was so traumatized from reading some of her books. I had to have a nightlight, you guys. Like, that is how intense her writing is. That's how scary her writing is. Like, it is haunting, and I'm so excited to be able to pick up this book and to read it. So that is The Devil's Medal by Karina Halley. So the fourth book on my list is a sequel to a very, very popular series right now in the YA community, and that is Blood and Honey by Shelby Mahiran. So I don't want to give away too many spoilers because, you know, this is a second book in a series, but it's basically about a girl who is a witch on the run from her old coven, which is trying to hunt her down and capture her for a reason that I'm not going to tell you, but it's very important, and you will find out in the first book why she's on the run. So basically, she's a witch on the run, and she ends up meeting a witch hunter, and she falls in love with him, and of course things get pretty complicated from there because he is a witch hunter, she is a witch, and you know, that just sounds like a whole ball of craziness right there. So basically, the second book follows what immediately took place in the first book, and I'm just very excited to see what happens with Lou and her witch hunter husband. I'm so excited, and I already know that it is going to be a spectacular ride because I know that in the second book they are going to be meeting a new clan of witches that have a very creepy type of power, and I'm super excited about that. So I'm looking forward to reading this next book in the series. And yeah, I mean, this is just like the perfect book to read in the month of October, because whenever you think of Halloween, you automatically think of like witches and vampires and all of that type of creepy goodness. So yeah, you have witchcraft and love and all that stuff. So yeah. Sorry, I'm being a little awkward. But anyways, that is Blood and Honey by Shelby Maheron, and I'm very excited about reading this one as well. So I was talking to you guys about witches, and I also mentioned vampires. So I thought that it would be great to follow up with the 5th book on my TBR list, and that is The Beautiful by Renee Ahdieh. I'm butchering her last name. I'm just going to like put it in pretty close so you can see that's her name, her last name. I'm pretty sure I said it completely wrong. So if you are cringing at my mispronunciation, sorry, I can't be perfect. But anyways, this is The Beautiful. And this is set in 1872 in New Orleans. And guys, your girl loves New Orleans. So whenever I read that this was going to be set in New Orleans, I was like, yes! Like, I'm so excited for that. I love it. So this is about a 17-year-old girl named Céline Rousseau who has to leave her life in Paris for some reason. I'm not sure, it's not mentioned in the synopsis, but she has to leave her life in Paris, and she's taken in by these sisters at a convent in New Orleans, and it is here that she meets a man. His name is Sebastian Saint Germain, and from what I've read in the synopsis so far, our man Sebastian is anything but a saint. So I'm excited about that. Your girl is a fan of contradictions, and what better contradiction than someone who has saint in the middle of their name and they are anything but a saint. Like, that is a fun detail right there. I feel like the author wrote that name out for him, and she was just like laughing maniacally while she was writing that, because she knew that he wasn't going to be a saint. He was going to be a type of devil for sure. So the reason why sorry, that was a tangent right there, guys, but the reason why he is anything but a saint is because in the synopsis it reads how Sebastian Saint Germain is a very, very dark and broody type of man who is also like really popular as well. Like, he has a whole lot of like, he has like this huge clique of followers, and they all hang out in like the darker types of scenes in New Orleans, and our girl ends up becoming friends with him, and she's just drawn in to the enigmatic man that is Sebastian Saint Germain. And while she is getting to know this man, murders start taking place, and she's trying to find out who the murderer is, and she's speculating, like, could it be Sebastian Saint Germain? We'll find out. So while she is trying to investigate the murders, by trying to find out who this murderer is, the murderer sets Céline in his sights, and he is trying to kill her along the way. So this book has vampires. It's set in New Orleans, and it has like a darker type of Victorian-esque quality to it. Like, say less, you guys. I'm just ready to sink my teeth into this book. The pun is totally intended. So yeah, that is The Beautiful by Renee. I'm not gonna say her last name. That's that. The 6th book on my TBR list is Unravel by Kalia Reed. So this is a new adult, suspenseful, yet paranormal, spooky read. So you guys, this book sounds super twisted, and I'm so into this. So this book is about a girl named Naomi Carradine, Carradine, and she is somebody who has just got admitted into a psych ward a month ago, and everybody believes that she's insane. And while she is in the psych ward, she's getting visited by a man named Max, who nobody can see but herself, but he keeps on telling her that you are not crazy and I need your help. You need to help me. And guys, this book just sounds like such a mind twister. And I also read in the reviews that this book goes from the past tense back to the present, and it just shows how she went from being somebody with, I guess, a really fun, spectacular life to where she is now. And it just helps to unravel the plot and to show you what's going on. So this book just sounds so much fun, because that just sounds so interesting to read about somebody who is in the type of situation where she doesn't know if she is insane or if what she's seeing is really real. Like, guys, that just sounds so crazy. I'm so overwhelmingly thrilled to check that book out. So that is definitely on my spooky TBR list. So let's go to the next book in this list. The 7th book on this list is Bang by E.K. Blair. Guys, I know I've been talking about a lot of suspenseful reads, but whenever I think of like spooky books, like, I don't know, like I like suspense. I like books that leave me on the edge of my seat, and I am automatically drawn to the suspenseful thriller type of reads. So of course, this book is another suspenseful, spooky read. Now, I feel like I will definitely say that I think that this book is more suspenseful than it is spooky, and it's definitely more of a mind twister than it is of something that's going to leave you up at night, scared out of your mind. Like, no, it's not like that. But this book is twisted nonetheless. It is crazy. The things that I have read about this, because I have read the reviews, it is mind-boggling. And the people that have written reviews about this book has all said and agreed about how crazy this book is. So let me tell you what this is about, okay? So this follows our main character who has had a really traumatizing life. As a child, she was very, very happy. She was living with her father. It was just her and her father, and her dad was like her hero. He was so kind, and he was just the overall best dad that you can think of. He gave her the best life that he could possibly give her, and for some reason, he ends up getting charged with a crime and put into prison, and that ends up being the catalyst to our main character just having a terrible life from there on out. So she ends up getting put into foster care, and it is while she's in foster care that she gets put into a house where she meets her stepbrother, and her stepbrother form a very, very strong bond, and they also sadly get abused mentally and physically for many, many years by their father figure, by the man that they're living with. And now, fast forward, it's been many years. Our main girl and her stepbrother are now older, and she now wants to get revenge on the person who she believes just truly messed up her life. And in her mind, the only way that she can get revenge is to start from the starting point of how her whole life started to spin out of control in the first place, and that is the person who put her father into prison in the first place and who charged him of the crimes that he was accused of doing. So in order for her to get revenge on this man, I believe she starts to target his family. I'm not sure, don't quote me on that. Don't take me for my word, but I believe that's what's happening. So she ends up orchestrating this huge revenge plan, this whole plot. Her and her stepbrother they are both doing all of these crazy things to get revenge on the man who she believes ruined her life. So from what I've read about this, guys, like, it is crazy. It is true. The story is true to its title. It goes out in a bang, and I heard that the ending is so crazy. Like, there's like a huge like plot twist at the end, which is just insane. And yeah, I'm very excited for that. I believe that this book is actually a series, so I think there's more. It's either a series or it's a duology. I'm not sure, but I'm very excited to read that. So that's Bang by E.K. Blair. So the final book on my list is Crescent City by Sarah J. Maas. So this is something that I say it's tentatively on my October TBR list because, guys, like, just look at this. Like, she's thick. This novel is very curvy, and I'm just not sure if I can handle it right now. It is 800 plus pages, and guys, I already told you I'm having a reading slump right now, so I hope that I can get to this book and that I can read it in the month of October, but I'm still not sure. But basically, this book is about a girl who is living her best life. She's partying, going out, drinking, maybe doing drugs, I'm not sure, but she is having the time of her life. But things quickly take a turn for the worse whenever her friends end up getting murdered, and she now wants to find out who this murderer is and get revenge on him. So she ends up teaming up with a fallen angel, and let me see what his name is, by a fallen angel named Hunt Athalar. And like I said, he is a fallen angel, and he wants to try to not be a fallen angel anymore. And so the archangels, who basically boss him around all the time, they make a deal with him. They tell him that he will no longer be a fallen angel if he helps this girl hunt down the person who killed her friends. And we do find out that the person who killed her friends is actually a demon. So guys, that just sounds very interesting. This is another suspenseful yet paranormal read that I'm very, very thrilled to read about. So let's hope that I actually do read this month, in this month of October. So guys, that was my video. If you liked this book, excuse me guys, if you liked this video, please make sure to smash that like button and to also smash that subscribe button and join my little reading family. And I would love to be able to talk to you guys about all of the books that I'm loving right now. So also comment down below if you have any spooky suggestions for me. I'm always looking for a new spooky or suspenseful type of read. You guys, come on, help me out. But yeah, I hope you guys have an amazing week. Thank you for watching, and yeah, I'll see you next time. Mwah. Bye.